When you're traveling and you're performing, you're going to a lot of different places, especially like our theater, considering a historic building. What do you notice first? What kind of thing do you notice when you're in a new space when you're about to perform?
Well, the first thing I notice, of course, is the people that greet us, and and then when I walk on stage, the character of the theater, and the more many of these old theaters are so beautiful. They're very. That's where you get to see you know, the older architecture and all of the different periods of Art Nouveau or just different style. Sometimes you'll go into a theater and it'll be Egyptian style, and I love going into our old theaters and the acoustics. For instance, the acoustics at the Michigan Theater are fantastic. You know, for a singer's point of view, and even a speaker's point of view, the acoustics are beautiful.
Curiosity is a word that I have read and kind of heard you use quite often, and that keeping someone youthful, it's not that appearance, it's the fostering of curiosity. How are you nurturing that in your daily life today?
Well, I don't even have to nurture it. I'm just naturally curious, but it's not, it's more of a blend of enthusiasm and, the language of enthusiasm really is something that will keep you in sort of in a good place with the universe, and also, make you want to get up every day, make you want to pursue new ideas and new studies every day. I love finding new books, new topics, history. I'm just, I'm interested in art, interested in, you know, people's pursuits, interested in, so many different things. So I don't have trouble being enthusiastic or curious. My biggest difficulty is trying to balance all the terrible things in the news and not be so dismayed and distracted by them that I can't do my work. That is my nemesis. It's not a lack of desire, enthusiasm, or curiosity.
When that happens, when you're noticing that disruption, what's your tactic in that?
I just have to keep trying to work and counsel myself and listen to the counsel that I give others and take it myself, and to just take care of myself, take care of my family, do good work, try to speak out as much as possible. But it's increasingly difficult in these times because we are being assaulted in so many directions, and for me, things that are of deep personal that really affect me personally, not only of our country, but the welfare of our people in all countries, the welfare of people in the Middle East, the welfare of people in Palestine. So and all over the world. So I find it very challenging, but I also know that I have responsibilities and that I have to face them and complete them. So luckily, I'm a responsible person.
Not anyone in your position or everyone in your position would use their platform to speak out for activism. Why do you find that particularly important?
Well, I think that no one is obligated to use their platform in any specific way. But I also think it's not just people that have, a higher profile or have access to media and things like that. It's really up to every citizen to be aware, to do what they can, whether it's on a local level or a global level, and even small things, voting, taking care of your neighbor, helping someone who's elderly or someone who's infirmed, being, open-minded to your neighbor's, race and religion and things like that. There are things that every human being can do, and then all kinds of people have different ways that they contribute. I don't ever point out to anyone, you should be doing this and you should be doing more of that, because we never know the full circumstances of what people are doing. I just think that it's every single person has, the ability to do something, contribute something, even if it's simply radiating good, is its own form of activism.
That's beautiful. So many of my friends have formed female-fronted punk bands. Obviously, you're quite an inspiration to so many different people. Who is that inspiration for you now?
Well, I'm inspired by younger generations. I'm inspired by, whether it's young activists like Greta Thunberg, my own daughter, my own son, um, some artist I like Rosalia. I found her really inspiring, um, not only for her political platform and the way she speaks of others, but her voice is spectacular and her range of subject matter and concerns. She has a wide spectrum, and there's a lot of people that inspire me. New young writers. I'm just always watching to see, you know, what new is being given to us, what new books, what are new activists, are people that are trying to make us aware of things. And so I'm very inspired by, our new generations. When I'm, I mostly perform in Europe, and our audience is quite young, and I'm very privileged to have a very young audience, and they always fill me with a lot of energy and even a lot of hope, especially in the times that we're living.
Bread of Angels, wow, what a performance last night. I mean, it's a mix of things. Describe the kind of process of how you chose what stories, what excerpts you wanted to share, but also the music that accompanied them.
Well, it depends on, again, the venue, the people, the feel, what city we're in, who's joining me. I do some book events by myself, some with just Tony Shanahan on piano. Last night was very special because my son and daughter were performing as well as Tony, and that's very unusual for a book event because it's, all the musicians, they're not paid or anything. They're just helping me with, to share the book, and it was just wonderful to be with, to be with my son and daughter in, Michigan, where they were born, and so I tried to choose songs that suited the four of us, passages that related to where we are, more things about Fred, and just, it's a mix of that. Passages that I have a song that will enhance the passage, or vice versa, and or like last night, because Jessie was there. Jessie and I often do pieces where she improvises music and I read over it. And I only do that with Jessie. So because she was there, I was able to do a piece about basically thinking about Fred and also about Jack and Jessie. So if Jackson is with me, he's a very more sophisticated guitarist. I can ask him really to play anything, and he's available to give whatever atmosphere, whether it's a country song or, a high energy song or something, light or beautiful. So, last night I could pretty much do whatever I wanted between Tony's expertise and his guidance, and so it was especially great. And also, I like to have some kind of humor element in each night because, presenting a book, there is a lot of loss in the book, a lot of sorrow in the book, a lot of passage, but, we're alive and happy to be so, and people have so much stress right now, whether economic or global. And I'm always hoping that we can have a few laughs, which we did.
Yes, we did. I mean, the chemistry was palpable last night from the audience. Right when you all walked on stage, to when, I mean, and then it was just I feel like it's still in the atmosphere today. I mean, I know it's going to be carrying over for those 1,500 people to now. And one of those memories that you shared just a few days ago, it was March 9th. That's a very meaningful day for you for a duality of reasons. When you think about that day, what does it feel like for you, and especially sharing it, we're in Michigan here too, what did it feel like sharing that date and significance last night?
Well, I mean, I met Fred in Detroit, as I said, and as written in the book, on March 9th, 1976. And it really only occurred to me like a week or so ago that this date, I always think about March 9th, but this one was especially important or meaningful because it marked 50 years, which seems incredible because I still feel like myself. I feel, it's hard to believe that that was 50 years ago because I can picture it. I can picture him at the Lafayette Coney Island. I can picture, that little white radiator. It's all very present within me. And so it was especially, even though it was a few days ago, but it was especially meaningful, being here in Michigan. In terms of the welcoming, I always feel that when we come to Michigan, but I think it was especially poignant last night because many people, I mean, they know I'm here, but also a surprise because it wasn't announced, my son, our son and daughter. And that's, as I said, a rare thing because Jesse lives in New York, Jackson in Michigan, and we're all moving around, and we all collided in Ann Arbor, and that was really great.
I love your ritual of writing every morning. What is it? A cup of coffee? Is it black still?
Black coffee.
Cup of black coffee. You're right. Did you do that this morning?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It's my daily practice, and it's good for me if I do that. When I don't, I feel sort of restless during the day. It just makes, how some people, they might do their yoga in the morning or whatever they do in the morning. I do my stretches and I get my black coffee and I write for an hour or two, and sometimes longer if I'm, in some kind of zone. But even when I'm not writing something that's, if I can't really find my way, I'll write something. I might write some notes about what I should research, or just some passing thoughts. But I try to actively put pen to paper just to keep that muscle, to keep that muscle strong and keep it active.
Do you have a nighttime routine, though? You have a morning routine. Is there a wind down routine?
I just go until I'm... I mean, sometimes I'll edit at night, but that I do on a computer. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'll just decide I don't want to do anything, and I'll watch... I have my favorite, shows to watch. I like old British detective shows, and I'll watch a rerun of Lewis or Shetland, or I'll watch my... Korean dramas, which are mostly 16th century dramas, and that's if I really feel like I can't read or anything else, that's what I'll do just to sort of quiet down. I will read though. Sometimes I'll read myself to sleep.
What are you reading right now?
Right now I'm reading a small book called 3 Drops of Blood by a Persian writer, Hidayat. Very rare book. It's really hard to find his work. He wrote a book called The Blind Owl. But I'm also reading some work, comments on his work by Joseph Beuys for something I'm researching. I'm doing a piece on him. So I'm usually reading a few different things at the same time.
This year marks a lot of 50 anniversaries, but it's the 50 years since Horses. When you perform those songs today, how has your maybe connection with the audience changed since you first shared those stories?
Well, I mean, it's been 50 years, so, I mean, when we first were performing Horses, the songs were new. We didn't know who our audience was. So every night, even the first time when I met Fred, I had never played in Detroit before. We had no idea how the people would accept, welcome us, accept us, hate what we were doing. So it was, we just went in, with our mission, trying to communicate with like minds, people who also felt they were on the fringe of society. And so it was really more reaching out for our people, or just reaching out, period. And but now, when we perform them, a lot of people have been with us for a long time, or they've heard the album, or even young people, very new people, have heard the album. So it'll never be that same experience of like the complete unknown. But I just go, when I go on stage, I have the same way, the same manner that I did 50 years ago, when I just go on and just try to establish contact with the people right away and stay in contact. So if you do well, that's great. If you make mistakes, like last night, I blew the bridge on Dylan's Long Black Coat, which the man in the long black coat, which I love doing that song, and blew the bridge. So we had to work our way through it till I got the bridge right. And but if you establish some kind of thread with the people, they're with you no matter what. You can make mistakes or try something again, or and I have that same philosophy of performing, is stay in communication. And when if there's certain songs, I've pretty much retired horses now, but if I want to do a song or two from the album, I would do it only if I still related to it. I don't like to, the reason I don't sing certain songs is if I can't deliver them in an authentically, engaged manner. So, and sometimes I won't do a song because it makes me too sad. And that, like I almost never do Frederick. It just makes me too sad. But I do Because the Night, which I wrote for him, Dancing Barefoot. And so, how do I relate? How did things change? I mean, we change, I was in my 20s when I first performed those songs. Now I'm 79 years old. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of changes. And even in that Horses tour, there was a certain amount of ritual involved, which it wasn't ritualistic before. Then it was ritual because we did the album from beginning to end. But it wasn't ritual without feeling and without allowing for risk or some kind of change. So, but that aspect of ritual was new to the anniversary.
You had us like putty in your hands last night.
Oh.
I mean, how it just felt like we were all old friends, right? I'm in a room of 1,500 people with old friends.
That's the goal, really. The goal is because I had my time of being like a rock and roll star, especially in Europe in the 70s. When I was really young and really committed to being, rock and roll star, but in the best of ways. But and since then, when I go on stage, my mission is really that those kind of barriers or those things that separate us, fall away, and that we're just in direct communication. Yes, I'm on the stage; it's my stage. I'm in command, but still, I like to feel that there's a feeling of mutual need. It's we can't have a night without each other. So
beautifully said. There's this common theme. I think it has this peaks and valleys of this needing things to be in categories, whether that is label, gender, whatever that might be. When you think about your life, your work now, and that idea of having and living beyond categories, what does that mean to you today, right now?
I'm still the same way. I mean, to me, I feel that I've done a strong enough body of work that I can call myself an artist an artist, meaning whatever, a writer, whatever, but a person who has committed themselves to doing the best work they can. And so I'm a worker. I don't really, to me, I don't like putting any labels on what I do, because I'm not against other people doing it, because some people, that is their mission, and that's fine. But for me, my mission was to break from all labels, and hopefully, good work. If I do good work, that's good enough label for me.
I'm going to do a rapid fire of just kind of what first things come to your mind, and then we'll wrap this.
Okay.
If you could transmit one song into everyone's mind in the entire world, universe, right here, right now, what song would that be?
Merman Turn the Tides, 1985, Jimi Hendrix.
What is something that you cannot get enough of right now?
Good books.
What is the last film you saw in a theater?
Begonia.
What is the last album you listened to in its entirety?
What was I listening to the other? Oh, I know what it was. It's the soundtrack to The Green Knight.
What is your favorite color?
Well, I love blue, but in terms of like a color I choose consistently, like to wear something, is brown. I like brown.
What do you hope your work will help people understand about the world?
I don't claim to think that my work will help people understand anything about the world. If it helps them understand something about themselves, or gives them a certain amount of permission or freedom or comfort, those are the kind of things I hope for. In terms of the world, that's a pretty lofty job.
That is all I have for you. I think we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I sincerely appreciate it.
That was fun.
Good, I'm glad. I try to make it fun.